Into battle number 2.
Woo!
This time SHOJO on attack and Foxy. Foxy, look at those tank destroyers, Foxy.
Whoa.
Foxy, what's going on? We're gonna have to get Sublime up here later on and ask him sort of just how good the acid he is on has been.
Are they taking a page out of Pepcak's book?
That'd be 2 Fox, right? 2 Fox.
Oh.
Foxy's giving 2 Fox to this battle.
2 Fox. I just kind of want to go hang out by the foxes. The Foshes. So, interesting. So many TDs, man. They definitely are going to be camping at least the A4, C3 area. Holding down that 3 line as well as the A line. We'll have to see if SHOJO falls into the trap here. I think, honestly, seeing that many TDs, I would not want to go towards the 0 line. Because you know most of those guns are going to be aiming that way. And about another half of those TDs are going to be looking down the 2 to 3 line. But Foxy being very aggressive coming up through the courtyard. Gotta go check out what they're doing over here. As we have 3 IS-7s pushing across. Doing something kind of similar to what they did before. William will be taking 368 to the backside.
Do you see Otter's stronghold strategy and what Foxy's doing here at the moment?
No.
With the cross courtyard pushing. I mean, not the tank selection, the TDs not so much, but the going across the courtyard early, and Utah Disu firing HE at Electro Gate, which is interesting.
Oh, is
probably
YTP,
would be using APCR, but
YTP getting HE'd over there in the G3 area with the IS-7? Is that what is going down from the hill? Yeah, Foxy very spread out. I've never seen something quite like this in a long time. So
yeah, it is effective in the way that it's going to stop SHOJO being able to put any sort of decent pressure down the 8 line. Simply because it's going to get shut up in transit. That being said, Foxy's very exposed for those SHOJO tanks just coming off the hill, and sure, you've got 2 Fox sitting there waiting for whatever it is, but let's make one thing clear, Fox aren't used in competitive games, not because there are better alternatives or anything. They're just not viable, especially when you're shooting from a lowered position up into elevated terrain. That means that the guys that are above you have, even your frontal plate is even more flush to them as thin as it already is.
Now, where
Fox, really bad idea for what they're doing.
Where did they pick up a kill at? I failed to see where the E3 got a kill here. Is that on the 1-2 line?
The death is at D6.
D6. Oh, what?
I think Sublime was just peeking windows and just got tapped.
Gotcha. There's
and here we see the Foxy is starting to be engaged from the 0 line. SHOJO's rolled down. They've decided that they're going to get their kill on. And the thing about it is, 2 Fox just aren't really going to be able to do anything to an E3 because meanwhile they've got a 140 that's looking to flank around in them, and Foxy just doesn't have anything there to deal with it.
Let me see the Fox.
Foxy went super heavy, and so because of that, they're really flexible.
The Fox poking out and paying for it. Getting whacked by the E3 and the 50B once by each. That armor is pretty much non-existent.
This waffle from Conky coming down the B line. I don't think I've got to explain to anyone what problems that's going to have with armor.
As we see SHOJO pushing down the 0 here. The A line. They're going to be running into strike in the E3. They're just trying to feel out where Foxy players are because they're so fragmented around the map. Hoover might be taking a shot here. Hoover going to be getting tracked. Has to repair that. As Strike just hanging out there, he does have at least a 14-second reload, depending on what his crew's looking like. So he will be able to get another shot off. SHOJO not forcing the issue here, knowing that there's plenty of guns down the 8 line.
So you can see what's going through the SHOJO caller's mind here of, my forces are in the northeast, they're going to tie up those TDs for as long as I want them to. let's make a play for the 1 cap, because those IS-7s that are down at the bottom of the courtyard, and his friend, the TE3, the FB, the Fox, the hold on IS-3, all of these guys are essentially going to be absolutely pinned in place when the 1 pressure goes on. That means that at best, Foxy's going to have a 215B, an E3, E62A, a Waffentrager, and a dead IS-7 to defend cap with, and it's not going to work against all that meat and potatoes that Shojo's got running up that 2 line right now.
As they're pushing up the 2 line here, they could be pushing on YTP to clear out that space, but the IS-7s of Foxy are coming in. Gonna be pushing on Kiru Desu in the 215B, as Shojo's gonna start applying cap pressure. 42 seconds. They do have 3 on though, so it should be dropping quick. There we go. We see 27 seconds. One guy's gonna get reset, drop down to 27 once again. As we have people screening, but JT's gonna get reset by William of Orange. Now there's actually double cap going on. 3 players on each cap. I kind of want to watch both, but I don't have enough PCs.
Watch number 1, man. Number 1's more interesting.
We are on number 1 right here. Watching Hulful getting taken out by Conky in the Waffentrager E100. He's going to unload his magical clip. All the skill coming out of there. Getting the resets. 29 seconds. I wish these caps had numbers on the top of the screen here. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the low one is cap number 2.
The cap at 2 is over. The cap at 2 is over. And it does say base 1 capture by enemies, base 2 capture by enemies. So 1 is the top one, 2 is the bottom.
Oh, maybe this mod does not. As we watching the 50Bs take out that E3 on cap number 2. So SHOJO trying to press the issue here, but it turns out that Foxy being spread out all over the map, it actually paid off for them. They're able to push on smaller engagements and then eventually focus on the E100s that were balled up on the number 1 cap.
Interesting mistake that we saw from SHOJO here, where Foxy was so spread out that SHOJO had all the initiative to do what they wanted to do. And so a big bunch of their tanks, 6 tanks, almost half their team, YOLO'd up and sat on cap and then did nothing. I mean, that force that we saw in the 1 line, I can't really attest to what happened there because they all look pretty echeloned up, but it just looks like they got surrounded and killed. Whereas if they hadn't tried to cap so early, if they had tried to kill a couple more tanks as Foxy was still spread out and trying to rush to get into position, it might have been a little bit more successful. That's